Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another unboxing component video for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. This is a special holiday set called Santa vs. Heximas Holiday Pack. So they started to release these little 2-packs to just add some additional characters that aren't, like maybe appeared once or aren't really very they're not the main cast because they did the Bulk and Skull set where they were Power Rangers. And then now they're doing this one. So kind of somewhat jokey, gimmicky sets, but they actually work fairly well. And they can mix and integrate super great, super easy. I just kind of compare it, things like these sort of go like when Marvel adds, anytime now they add Deadpool to something, he always has such a big gimmick to it that it makes it, it kind of pulls you out of the game a little bit because his effects work. They usually work so different than the rest of the game. It's hard to play with it without only using that stuff. But here you could throw Hexamus in just to fight as any other regular monster, or you could have Santa as any other hero. Yeah, he has a little bit different effects, but they're not so off the board compared to other characters. I mean, like the Bulk and Skull had like high-fiving. And stuff like that, or doing finger guns, which are a little like, okay, that's a little silly for the game, but it didn't ruin it at all. Alright, so let's take a look at this set. So, of course, we're going to start off with our Ranger. So we have Santa Claus himself, who's Father Christmas, gets a special tree symbol, set team symbol. Now, if you're not familiar with, hopefully you're familiar with who Santa Claus is as himself. If you're not, for whatever reason, basically Santa Claus goes around and gives presents to all the good boys and girls around the world every year during December. And then he gives like coal to bad kids. So it's essentially be good and Santa brings you presents. So this kind of plays off that effect. As per the Power Ranger universe, there's been a Santa Claus in several different seasons, but none of them with this specific one here. So I'm just gonna look at the figure here. None specifically with like this Power Rangers uniform where he has like the boots, you see like the gloves, he's got like the diamond shape on there, he's got like a morpher belt. There's been a Santa Claus in many series, sometimes multiple times. Like I think he was in 2 different episodes of like Megaforce, but none as an actual Power Ranger. Like you may have hinted it, or they're like an ally, but that's kind of why they made him. So he's not entirely like outside of the realm of the Power Rangers universe. So his ability is called the Bag of Gifts. At the start of each battle, you may give 1 card from your hand to another Ranger as a gift. When another Ranger plays a card, they may reveal 1 gift, resolve its gift effect, and then place it in your discard pile. So this is going to work not very similar, but has a symbol on it, so it's going to work like the Zeo Gold Ranger. So it does something with that, given that effect. But here's the thing, you don't even have to use that ability. It just lets them get that special effect for free. Which is really neat. You can give them a card and they can use it and get this extra bonus. Or even if you don't, like if you wanted to do a legacy deck, you could go through and just have Santa as your main Ranger. You have cards from any other characters for the most part, any other Rangers. And he'd just be helping out by giving out cards. It's kind of in that sense, sort of like Alpha. So the next card we're going to look at, we're just going to start jumping into his deck. And we'll see what his cards are. We just switch his presents to. So first we have 2 copies of Bellringer, which is going to be a 0-cost attack. We'll let you roll 2 dice and you can see him smashing in a putty's face. It's 2 defense. So you look at the top card of your deck. You may give it to another Ranger as a gift. So you can be like, hey, well, I got extra defense or an extra attack or something that costs 0, which might help them out. So you can hang them off. if they have this, they can use that present effect. It says, again, just to make sure. It says when another player plays a card and they reveal one gift, then resolve its effect, and then you get it back into your discard pile. If they don't, it keeps staying in their deck. But yeah, if they play this, each ranger in this battle may draw up to 2 cards. So they can basically play a card, and then everyone can actually draw 2 more, which could be really beneficial. But maybe you don't want to, and it's up to. So it's kind of fun. Here we have Better Watch Out. So that's a 1-cost attack with 3 dice, 2 defense, in which has the present effect. Next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. Very Red Ranger leadery of him, since he's that color. We have 2 copies of Christmas Rush, which is a 1-cost maneuver with 3 shields. Give 1 card from your hand to another ranger as a gift. That ranger may immediately play 1 card. Place this card at the bottom of your deck instead of discarding it. So it's even beneficial. If you pass off one of those other 2 to them, then they can immediately play it, a different card, and get that bonus giving you that card back. Alright, so then we're going to have the Naughty List. A 0-cost, 1 shield attack. It just straight up does 2 hits. He's about to punch Rito and Goldar. But it has a gift ability of deal 1 damage, direct damage up to each of 2 enemy cards. That's definitely a very powerful one to pass off. Like, just being able to get 2 straight damage yourself is great. Or being able to hang it to someone else and they can automatically just do 1 of each. So much just depend, because they can play that with another card. So that's why it definitely makes that super beneficial. And then, like all rangers, they're going to have their power weapon. And his power weapon, because it's an X cost with 3 shields, is the Nice List, which is a maneuver. It says, choose a number of cards from your discard pile equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. Shuffle those cards and give them to each other ranger as gifts. So it even makes that more fun, because you're give out multiple cards, how many you need for how many players. They're not going to know what they get, and you're not going to know what you're giving necessarily, unless you have 1 card and you pay 1 to give it to them. Or you have 2 of the same cards. But it's also coming from your discard pile. The only weakness this Santa deck can end up getting is if you give away too many cards and players aren't giving them back quick, because they're not playing cards for whatever reason, is that your deck is going to be thinner and thinner. So it's the only downside to that. I'd say most of the time, as soon as they play a card, you're probably just going to want to play that as an ability to use it. It's generally not bad. There's no point for them to hang on to it too long. But it could just be maybe a thing of like, oh, all I have are, 2 energy cost cards in my hand, and then they play one, they get a card like, oh, no, I can't play this, higher cost one. Alright, then his team card, because everyone uses a cheap team card. 0 cost, 1 shield. Milk and cookies, and a bunch of putties tied up around a tree back there. Choose a card from your discard pile with a total of up to 5 shields. Shuffle them back into your deck. Or you can spend this to gain 2. So this lets him, after everyone's played all the gifts he's giving them, he can shovel them back into his deck and basically keep his life going. It's definitely an interesting character. Some interesting cards in effect. It's very support driven. I mean, he does have some good attacks. A 2 dice attack, a 3 dice attack, and a 2 hit attack. Yeah, she's definitely cool. Works that way. I could definitely see playing him. As long as you make sure you have the right other characters around. The final thing we get to look at for him is he gets a Zord. Because like all Rangers, they each have their own individual Zords. So here we have the Reindeer Zord, which I guess was hinted at like in one episode. He kind of jokes around with the Rangers saying, I don't know what season this was, but he jokes around saying he has a Reindeer Zord at home. So this is kind of that, he's pulling his sleigh behind him. It says, exhaust this card during the battle. Gain 1 energy. If any ranger flips 1 action token face down, you may move any ranger to an outer location of your choice. This is an incredible ability, though. So you have to spend an action token to basically move anybody anywhere other than to the headquarters. So that means you can spend 1 to move. Someone would have to spend an action token in between turns anyhow to move from one location to another anyhow. So this is going to let you do it, but it lets you do it in battle, which is what's incredible. I think the pterodactyl lets you move them for free, if I remember, the original pink pterodactyl. I could be wrong on that. But this one, though, because you can flip it in battle and be like, okay, Red Ranger's about to go down. He can't afford to take another hit. He has an action token. Flip this, flip that. Move him somewhere else. Maybe there was not any enemies or where he doesn't need to engage. Or you could be like, hey, we got this. The Black Ranger still has 4 cards in his hand. Let him play his thing. He can move over to another battle and prep for it. Or you can pull him from another battle. Like, oh, he finished up that one. He still has a decent hand size. Pull them into an ongoing battle. The only thing you can't do is send them to the headquarters, but if they're already in the headquarters, you can pull them out into the middle of a battle. So, like, you could send the Yellow Ranger up to the headquarters to recharge, and then halfway through the battle you're fighting, you're like, oh crap, like, something happened, this happened, we're not going to be able to win this turn unless we get a little bit more firepower. You could play this to summon her the full hand back into the new battle. So it definitely makes this really cool. Alright. Up next then, we have our monster. We have a Heximas. So Hexamus is actually from this series. He's from the Dino Charger series. So here's Heximus' model. This guy's actually pretty detailed. He's got like some wreaths on, some bows. He's got a tree cane, like a chimney. He's got some sort of like turbo sack, Christmas sack coming out his back. He's got some candles on his shoulders. What else? A candle on his head, top of the chimney. There's a Santa hat popping out. He's got a beard. There's a better colored picture of him. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so he is an actual villain from the show. It's just kind of neat that they added him in here. Alright, so let's look at his cards. We have 2 copies of the Rocket Sleigh. 4 health with fast. Each ranger must draw 1 card. Dealing amount of damage to each ranger equal to the shield value of their drawn card. And this might not sound terrible, like, oh, so I get an extra card so I can do more damage. But it's a forced draw. So it could end up emptying your deck if you only had 1 card left in there, or had no card, you know. So that could be bad in that sense. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, it could be very, it could have 1 shield, could have 3. We have Season's Beatings, 2 copies of that. Also 4 health with Guard. So you punch in the yellow Dino Charger. Dealing a amount of damage equal to the total number of figures in this location, including rangers and enemy figures. I like these variable amounts. Actually make this very interesting. So we have 3 copies of Cannon Boom, which is inspiring his Christmas tree gun. 4 health. Half of the rangers in this battle, rounded up, must each discard 1 card from their hand. Each other ranger must discard the top card of their deck. So that one doesn't hurt anybody, but can definitely mess with what you have going on. I like here, though, that it's not random. So each ranger gets to... So each of the rangers get to choose who gets to discard from where and what card. So at least if you're like, oh, I got this, I can't afford to get rid of this 1 card, so I don't want to randomly discard. You know, you could choose, I'll take the top card of my deck instead. Or if someone just put a card on top of their deck, they don't want to waste it, you know, they can choose to discard from their hand. So at least it's a little bit fair that way. And then his final card is his Cursed Coal. So it's just a red Dino Charger Ranger, kind of transforming him, or possessing him. So it's a 6 health passive. While this card is in play, each time a card is placed on the Ranger discard pile, that Ranger must remove 1 hit token from the enemy card of their choice. So that works really bad with that other one. Or every time they play a card, they have to remove 1. And this kind of actually works against Santa, because if you're fighting Santa in there, and he has all these other cards that let him give out gifts, and then you spend that gift, now it goes to that discard pile. So you have to take out this card right away, otherwise you're playing with Santa against him. He's just going to keep making it harder and harder. And I probably should have went and looked at this one first, but this is just the instructions. Evil spell, Santa smells, cursing coal all day. Oh, what fun it is to turn bad kids on Christmas Day. Hey, from Heximas. Alright, there's some different stuff. It's going to show off all the different cards you're going to get. Zoid card, deployment. Nothing extra special. And expansions for a new Ranger and Zoid. Follow the instruction books. That just explains how Santa's presents work. It says, Santa cannot take his gifts back for any reason. Once he is given a gift, it remains in front of the recipient until they decide to reveal it. Even if Santa recovers power-ups or gets defeated. Oh, so it goes in front of them. I thought it went to their hand. Okay. Santa gives gifts to other Rangers. He places them face down in the recipient's player. Note that Ranger can have multiple gifts, so his gifts remain face down until they're revealed. Santa may not tell them exactly what their gifts are, but he's allowed to give hints. Oh! So that actually makes them cards a little bit more difficult to use. Like usually the next task is as soon as possible. Player plays a card and they reveal 1 gift. Resolved. Placed in a discard pile. The gift always resolves before their played card does. If the gift has no effect, nothing happens. Oh, so that actually, we're gonna relook at these cards quick, because that actually changes how all of them are kind of gonna work. So I thought I guess I didn't read that quick. I just read his regular card, and I didn't read the instructions, because I assumed that was just how it's played. But, so here, this one's gonna give 2 energy. That's not gonna almost ever be bad anytime, unless you're, like, super flowing on energy. But if you're that high in energy, you probably wouldn't give this out as a gift. Double damage, up to 2 on 1 enemies. Yeah, I can't see why just handing out damage would ever be bad. Again, just even if you give this card to another player, yeah, you give it to them. Just, the thing is, it depends on when they would decide to use it. Because if they wait too long, then there's nothing. Or, like, there might only be 1 enemy. At worst, then it's only 1 damage. You know, but still, it's better than nothing. It's a free one damage. This might be the only one, is to make sure that you time it right. Because this might be one that might be kind of bad, because, not bad, but could get wasted a bit. They can add 2 dice to that attack. So even if they play something that only does 1 damage, like an actual hit and doesn't roll dice, you still get to roll 2 dice to add into it. So no matter what, you're going to be adding dice. So that definitely can't hurt most of the time. It'd be even better if you're trying to take out, like, a bunch of guys at once. This could probably be the only one, in that sense, it could potentially be really bad. Because each Ranger, well, it says up to 2 cards, so I guess that's actually not bad. He's not forcing you to draw 2 cards. So if you draw it and you can't afford it, you just don't do it. So really none of them are terrible, which makes sense. It's Santa. But it definitely if you think about them, if they're random, you don't know what they are, and you kind of gotta just take Santa's, take the other players' faith on it. You gotta hope they're gonna play something that's gonna help you. But then again, he always does it first before you get your other stuff. So that's kind of cool. They could, if you're gonna play something, it's like the dice one, or to draw a card one. You're gonna attack something that involves, if you attack this, it does damage versus how many cards are in your hand, or the next card does something like number of cards in your hand. You might be like, hey, maybe don't use that gift yet, or vice versa. If everyone's running, maybe you might tell them to play it earlier. Who knows? You're about to take a big hit, you might tell them not to play it. Alright, so that's all I got for this set. The Power Rangers United set, plus the extra ally packs and the extra villain packs. All should be coming soon, so those are the next videos that will get updated. Hope you guys enjoy this little set. It should still be available on the Renegade website, Renegade Game Studios. So check that out, as well as all the other different games they have available. See you guys in the next video. Bye.